I did my first open house, and I brought in a buyer, and then I had to fire them because they wouldn't take my buyer's offer. They told me it was a wonderful offer, and they would take it for anybody but somebody with that last name.
Wow. And you said sorry, and you fired your first client.
I fired them. It was hard. I'm really against discrimination.
But you have integrity. I'm here today with Monica Schaefer from our Woodbury office. Monica, I am so glad you're here. You know how hard it was to get Monica on the show. You don't know this because you said you don't keep track of the tenure, but you're approaching your 13th anniversary with RE/MAX Results. You started out newly licensed at RE/MAX Results, and I remember you from day one. You have such an unconventional approach to real estate and working with clients, and the associates that know you love you. And thank you for coming here today.
Can I ask you one thing?
You can ask me anything.
I just want to know what you mean by unconventional.
Unconventional. It's your personality. You're outgoing. Sometimes you have a very generous approach. You do things to get the transaction done that definitely puts the client first. You've called me through the years and you've said, listen, I've got this situation going on. I'm thinking of doing this. And I mean, you've given up entire commissions. I mean, I could go on, but that's unconventional.
Oh, I was thinking maybe because, I don't walk around the dresses, high heels, and all that crap.
Well, that too.
I go show houses and in my pajamas even.
That too. No, so let's go back. Where did you grow up?
Cottage Grove.
Okay. So you've been in Minnesota all your life?
All my life.
All right.
Yes.
And what were you doing before real estate?
Well, I was a flipper with my brother.
Okay.
So we flipped houses together.
Okay.
And because we always focused on making sure we didn't put just lipstick on a house. It had to be complete, whether it's new plumbing, new whatever. So I had said, maybe one of us should go get our license. And my brother said, well, you like people more than I do, so you should go do that. And because I wanted more money for the fact that if something we find in there we couldn't fix because we didn't have the money.
Yeah.
I wanted to do it. I wanted a full flip.
Yep.
Because our names were on it, and no way was I doing a half-ass job.
I didn't. You can say half-ass.
Okay.
That's okay.
Good. Can I say the Effenheimer too?
We might have to bleep those out, but it's okay. It's okay. Okay, I didn't know that you were flipping. Do you still do a little bit of that?
No.
A little invest? Yeah.
No, my first year in, I quit flipping. I told my brother, I can't do this and that. And I remember somebody saying, you're best at something if you focus on one thing,
Your first year, you were phenomenal. You've definitely 100% club. That's a RE/MAX club level. It's a career height. And ever since then, platinum plus, you've hit chairman before. Last year, you closed 45 sides. For a solo agent, that's a lot. And that was a down year in real estate. Well, not for you, but I'm just in real estate in general. That's a lot of business.
I've spent a majority of the year traveling with my girlfriend and just trying to make life good for her.
Yeah, this is one of your good friends. I know you're going to get emotional.
Yes.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that? Or, okay, we'll circle back. I don't want you to get teary-eyed.
Not already.
A good friend of yours that is sick, that you've been, spending the end of her life, really making it enjoyable.
Well, I'm thinking she's going to be the miracle. If there's a miracle, it's going to be her.
That's wonderful. Yeah, that's wonderful. So you're full of stories. You are full of stories. I want you to share with the listeners the story about, it was your first year in the business, one of your first customers. I don't know if you'd call it a success story, but it's super great. It's great. Do you know which transaction? Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Exactly which transaction you're talking about.
Will you tell that story?
Okay. I was referred to this couple by a Phoenix agent that I knew. And she had asked them to meet with me. And so they called me and they said it was kind of a courtesy call because they had already met with some agents and they had actually met with Remax's top agent. And so they said that they would still have me come over because I just said to them, well, don't you want more information about your house? I mean, even if you use the top agent, I'm new, and so I might come with fresh ideas and stuff like that. So they invited me over. And so when I got there, I was nervous. I was like really nervous, probably more nervous than I am here. because I was up against the top agent, and he was the top agent. And I don't remember his name because I forgot about him as soon as I walked in that door because I had to. And so I came in and I walked through the house, and I was talking with them, and then they asked me if I have my presentation because the other agents gave a presentation. And I said, oh. And this is funny because I never did a presentation.
A listing presentation?
Yeah, didn't do it. And I still don't do it. But anyway, I said, I just come the first time. My goal is to be in here twice with you so we really get to know each other. Because when someone buys a house, I feel their personality is kind of like the homeowner. So now I've getting to know you. So I'll come back tomorrow if that works, or whatever day you say, I'll come back. And then I will bring my presentation, and then I'll bring you the pricing because now I've been through here. Yeah. And they said, okay, that's fine. So I left there, went back to the office at Woodbury, and started working on a presentation. And I was there till 7 in the morning. The next morning, that was my first overnight at Remax. And believe me, I've had many. But anyway, I got 7 o'clock. I left the office. I went to my house, got changed so I wasn't in the same clothes, and then went back over there. Yeah. And so I get there, and I bring out the presentation. I had it on my computer, but I had a hard copy too. And so we went through it, and she go, oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. Oh, that's interesting. And she kept going like that. And then we got through it, and I gave him the numbers. And she immediately went to her drawer in her kitchen and pulled out the number one agent's numbers and put it aside mine. She goes, your numbers are exact same as his. I just want you to know that. And you're new. And I said, well, I really studied it and stuff. And she goes, well, that's good. And then they said they were going to interview another person, but they would get back to me in a few days and let me know the outcome. And so I said, okay. When I was leaving, I turned around because I gave him the hard copy of the presentation. And I asked him, would you please review that for heirs? Because I spent the whole night in my office doing that presentation because I've never done one. And they just looked at me, they started laughing, and then I left. And a couple days later, I got the call, and they said to me that they were going with the number one agent. And I said, oh, you know what? He's going to do good, obviously, because he's the number one agent, you know? So no worries. And then the husband just says, no, we're going with the number one agent. And that's what we said. And I said, well, I know. And if you need me, if it doesn't work, you can call me. And he goes, well, there's one thing you're not understanding. And I go, what's that? And he goes, you are the number one agent. You just haven't been there long enough, and you haven't figured this out yet, but you are. And so I was like, well, I was bawling. I'm like, okay, this doesn't look good. But I was over the phone just crying, and I go, oh my gosh, thank you. And I was so happy. And I said, I promise you I'll work like a dog for you. And and then
they already knew that.
And then I did my first open house, and I brought in a buyer, and then I had to fire them. Because they wouldn't take my buyer's offer. They told me it was a wonderful offer, and they would take it for anybody but somebody with that last name.
Wow. So some discrimination.
Yes.
And you said sorry, and you fired
it was so
your
hard
first,
to do because
you fired your first client.
It wasn't like my first, but I fired him. It was hard because it was my biggest transaction that I was doing, you know.
Wow.
But it's how I feel. I'm really against discrimination.
Thank you. But you have integrity. And so buyers,
our new agents have to know that even if you're up against somebody that's been in it for years and all that, they told me it was my personality, I don't fluff things, and they could tell that I was a hard worker, and that's why they went with me. And then the woman said, and you're a little funny sometimes. And I don't know why people say that. I just don't feel I'm funny. But
You're hilarious. Do you find that people might not understand you or might not relate to you?
oh, I'm sure a lot of people at the Woodbury office do not understand me.
Not at all.
They're like,
no, that's
oh my
not
God,
why I asked that question.
I mean, I had one of my clients almost run over Mark Hermes, and I get clients like that. Well, I say, God, guide me where you want me to be. Help the people you want me to help, and keep me sane and normal in this real estate world. I say that every morning before I get out of bed. And sometimes I'm just wondering, where are you, God?
So, okay, 45 transactions last year. You say that's low for you, but that's phenomenal in a generally down real estate market. But typically, how do you do it? You must have systems. Like
Well, what I've learned since I've been in real estate is I'm a little competitive. And if I put that competitive edge on it, I will make every goal
Where does your business come from? Does it come to you, or are you chasing it?
I talk.
Okay. Go on. That's why you're here. Go on.
No, I run mainly on referrals right now.
Yes.
I mean that's what happened last year. I wasn't even trying to do anything, and I hit the 45.
Yes, I know. You when
'Cause my goal was to be with my girlfriend and spend as much time with her.
You say you talk. You talk to literally everyone. You talk to
when I was on Tom Ferry, they had me speak at an event.
Yes.
And I remember Bill Pipes said to me, so what do you do for your hour of power? And I go, I don't have an hour of power. I wake up and I'm powering the whole time.
You have a day. Your day is power.
Yeah.
But you are constantly talking real estate, whether it's the guy at the gas station or the gal or your waitress.
Recently, I did the frosty things for Wendy's.
Yes, Wendy's Frosties.
Yeah.
What were you doing?
Okay, so for Valentine's Day for all the kids, sending it out as a Valentine's gift, so they get the Frosty free for the rest of the year.
Okay.
And so I was standing in line waiting for them to get me because I went to the Wendy's to get 100 right away because I wanted to start giving them out.
Certificates? Yeah.
It's a little thing you put on your keychain, and every time they go to Wendy's, they get a free Frosty for the whole year.
Wow. Okay.
So anyway, I was standing there, and there was a guy with his kids, and they were ordering. And I go, hey, don't forget to get this Frosty thing, and then I'll give you 3 of mine for your kids so that you guys can all have a Frosty today. And he goes, really? And I go, yeah. So he didn't ask him, and so I told the guy, get him his Frosty thing, and then pull 3 out of that bunch of 100, and I'll give them to his kids. So I went over there after they gave me all these frosty little things, and I went over there and I handed him 3, and he said, oh my gosh, that's so nice, and then he goes, what a great discount. And then I right away said, I handed him my business card and said, well, here, you'll get a really good discount when you use me to buy or sell your house. And he just looked at me.
Always selling.
He has always already called me and touched base with me.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But that's just kind of,
that's what you do.
it works for me for some reason.
That is what you do.
And
Give me another example. You could just tell stories like this all the time, but like you're a salesperson, but you didn't. Yeah. Did you always know that you were good at sales, or did you just kind of realize?
No. My friend Dave Dubois, he owns a business that is sales, and when I got laid off from Target, he said he came over and asked me if I wanted to work with him, and I go, I don't do sales. There's no way. I'm not a salesperson at all. And he always has kidded me about that because he goes, your personality reeks of being a salesperson.
Yeah.
So I guess I am.
See, you're admitting it now. You know.
Yeah. I know I am.
What else do you do? So for people who might be listening to the audio or watching the video, curious they're considering hiring you as their realtor, maybe. Like, what's something that you want them to know about you? Why would working with you be any different than all the other realtors they have to choose from?
Well, they would understand that when they talk to me. I don't know. when I take on a client, they're my family now.
Yeah.
They're totally 100% my family. In fact, for my summer party this year, I had a shirt made, and it's
For all your past clients?
no, it's a shirt. Well, they'll all get one, but it's a shirt, and it'll have my name and Remax results, and I have every single one of their names on that shirt, and on the back it says "We Are Family."
Oh, wow.
So
That's cool.
just I don't know. I've been told I think out of the box, and then I tell them I don't have a box.
It's true.
I know it is. It is.
Or you're standing on top of that box,
yeah, maybe.
shouting to the world, hire me, and they do.
Yeah, and I know that I lead with my heart. It's gotten me in some trouble, just in the sense of, why am I doing this?
Give me what kind of trouble?
No, just like,
I mean, any kind
Well,
of that
I
we
would
can
say-
share on camera. I want to know.
no, I would
What?
never say that stuff, but no,
Okay.
no, I don't get in that kind of trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, my biggest trouble is keeping my Effenheimer in my mouth.
Your Effenheimer in your mouth.
And not bringing it out. That's about it. But no, but like I had a referral, and I went there, and the lady had met with a couple of agents already, and she was ready to sign with one. And the lady that cleans her house is somebody that I use to clean my houses before we go live. I always pay for the house cleaning and stuff.
Yeah.
And she gave her my name, and she was doing an estate sale. She wanted an estate sale because she had all this stuff to get rid of. So I went and met with her, and she told me what they were charging for an estate sale. And I says, well, I've helped quite a few people do an estate sale, but I do it a little bit differently. I go, but you will make money. I think the most that I had somebody make at an estate sale was like 20-something thousand. And they were going to just throw everything away.
Wow.
And I just, so I literally am there Friday, Saturday, and sometimes Sunday.
Yep.
And I don't mark anything because I believe people are very fair. And the ones that come there that are going to do it resell, right away who they are.
Sure.
And so I'm always going to tell them they need to pay more, but this one, it was kind of funny because she was so excited because the amount she was going to be charged to have a company come in and do it was just crazy stupid. And I just said, no, if you're okay and you can trust me, I go, I'm sure you can ask the cleaner that you can sit there. I'll give all monies to you right off the bat. I won't hold it if you don't want me to. I don't want anybody to hold it but you or I, though. And I have people that are friends that will, I have amazing friends. Amazing. Totally blessed.
Do you want to talk about your friend?
She's amazing.
Yeah.
She's a rock star.
You just, yeah.
She was given 2 weeks to live when she was diagnosed last April.
Wow.
And if anybody's on my Facebook, they've seen her.
Yes.
I've done reels on her, like when she started wearing wigs. I did a reel on about that, and she had her changing off all her wigs and done some different funny things with her and stuff. And me and her have known each other since elementary school.
Okay.
She used to always come over, and she ate dinner at our house. My parents gave her a day that she had to do dishes because she was always there. And we've had our moments, good, bad, ugly, but friends can get past everything if they're true friends.
Yep.
Is how I truly believe.
Yep.
And it was kind of funny because we weren't talking when she got the diagnosis. But then her son called me, and that was the best thing that happened for both of us, I believe.
Yeah.
Truly. I'm there to the day she dies. But hopefully she gets that miracle.
The way you talk about your friends and the way you talk about your clients, who are your family.
Absolutely.
You are such a compassionate person. Like, people who don't know you don't understand. Like, and your real estate business it's true definition of the service industry that we're in. I mean, you just talked about, running an estate sale for someone, like
I do crazy things.
you do crazy things.
Like
You,
before, for Florida, I have a friend that wants to buy there, and we were trying to get a hold of the company that has these new development, and I couldn't get a hold of him. She couldn't get a hold of him. Her husband couldn't get a hold of him. So I jumped on a plane to go door knocking to find out who I had to talk to, and I found the person. And found the developer.
How many doors did you have to knock on?
It wasn't really that many. The guy was laughing. He was just like, "Oh my gosh, you going door to door trying to find this person?" And I go, "Yeah, well, I have to go on a plane tonight back to Minnesota. But before I do, I'm going to find the person that I need to talk to find out if all the little things about this development."
Yep.
And so, got my answer. So
That's good. Yeah.
yeah.
So you are, so you're going to be doing, what are you doing?
I'm going to be doing Florida. Right
Mm-hmm.
Right now I have somebody that works with me, and then we have a commission cut.
Yep.
But I'm actually
Still primarily
Going-
Minnesota.
Oh, I will.
yes.
So my clients know I will never leave Minnesota.
Yes.
Because I did do a post and I got like 40 calls. And they
were worried.
They didn't read it all.
Yeah.
Because no matter where I am, if I'm in Florida doing something and something's going bad in Minnesota, I'm on that plane. My love is for Minnesota and my clients here. They got me where I am.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. I love how grateful you are.
Yeah, I wouldn't be where I am
Yeah.
if it wasn't for my clients.
Yeah. You're just walking gratitude. I love that so much. I'm going to segue just a little bit.
Yeah.
Because your first year in real estate at Remax Results was phenomenal. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? Like
How I did it.
well, every once in a while, I want to give some advice to people who might be new listening to this show that are newer in the business.
Yeah.
Like, let them learn from you. How did you become such a...
So when I started, the first thing I had told myself, because they tell you, reach out to your sphere, work out to your family.
Yeah.
I was no way going there because I didn't want them to think that I would just want to be selling them a house or having them buy a house, and I didn't want to be that person, so I never reached out to any of them. In fact, my one aunt listed her house with Coldwell Banker when I had got
funny.
But somebody had called me and said, "Do you know your aunt?" And I go, "Well, they don't even know I'm an agent,
Okay.
What I did is I got my first buyers through Craigslist, and Jessie, she was my first client, my first buyer off of Craigslist. So I told you, the Craigslist killer. You're going to help me kill this. And anyway, so that's how I got that, and I sent out a letter, and it was received very well.
Like you were
Because
farming?
back then
were you
could-
farming an area?
No.
Or who'd you send a letter to?
To the people so they were looking for a place to rent.
Okay.
So them people. And back then.
for your first client.
Yeah.
Got it.
Back then, Craigslist was a lot different. You could reach
Yeah.
out a little bit more than now you can probably
Right.
at all.
Right.
Because there are Craigslist.
Did you do open
Killers.
houses? Yeah, there's literally.
Yeah. And so for my listings, I went to garage sales.
Okay.
That's how I got my listings. My first listings, garage sales. There was a technique I used, and it was, it works. I don't do any of that anymore, but I know they work. And
Really?
So any of them new buyers want to know they can, or
That's
agents,
how you-
I would reach out and
You
Tell
would be
'em.
shopping at a garage sale and you'd figure out which one was the homeowner and you'd start talking to them. And
oh no,
say,
I knew who the homeowner was. No, I would.
hand out your business card just like the.
I'm not going to say it, but
just like
if
the
the
Frosties
new
at the Wendy-
agents want to know, they can call me, and I'll tell them because I don't want to give it away. So if somebody out there sees it, because it works really well.
Okay. So you've mentioned Tom Ferry a couple times, and
Yep.
and I know you were on stage, like you did a panel for him. Has Tom Ferry been your coach from the get-go? Like who?
No, I was at Remax's. Okay, it was the first event I went to. Theirs in Vegas.
Okay.
It was I was into my second year, and Tom was speaking.
Oh, the Remax R4 conference.
Yeah, and
Yep.
he was talking about Facebook, and
Yep.
that's what I did.
Okay.
Too. I did a lot of Facebook.
Yep.
Not like how it is now, where you can do different circle and everything like that. No
Yeah.
way. It would be, I would do my pictures for a house and then do a find the difference.
Oh.
And what I would do is have the photographer take the pictures with items left out,
Okay.
where I'd place them and then we'd remove them, and I'd have a find the difference thing. And I got a lot of people to follow me on my Facebook because of it.
Oh, cool.
He was talking about Facebook, and everybody raised their hand who was on Facebook. And then he would start to ask questions, who does this on Facebook? My hand stayed up. And then all of a sudden he says, you should all go back to your clients and ask them what they think the value of their home is, because you're going to find out nobody knows. Mm-hmm. So I immediately put it on Facebook. Hey, $3 or a gift card if you come within 3,000 on either side of what you think the value of your home is.
Okay.
So by the time we got done with that his class or whatever, I went up to him. I go, I already have like 65 responses, and they're all wrong. I want to buy all their houses. And there was a girl sitting next to me, and she was a Wisconsin agent. I wasn't a Wisconsin agent at that time. Mm-hmm. And so I gave her a lead for Wisconsin. It was kind of funny.
Let's talk future. Do you have any big goals? Do you have any big
Future?
Yeah.
I'm not getting married again. Two and done.
I love that. How about you're doing a little bit in Florida, but you're really dedicated to Minnesota. Like
Yeah.
when you walked into the room before the cameras were rolling, you said 85. I'm doing 85 transactions this year.
Minnesota, Wisconsin, 80, 10 in Florida. And my audacious in Florida would be 20.
How are you going to do that?
Same way I have done
Same
80.
way you've always
Same
done.
I've done 80 before.
So the most transactions you've ever sold in 1 year?
Oh, I don't even remember what it is.
It was over 80, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
over 80, but I don't remember the...
It takes a certain
actual-
level of insanity.
Yeah, actually, I hired a transaction coordinator after I hit my highest level.
Yep.
Because I thought I was going to die.
Yeah, you can't do that. You need
I've never had an admin or anything.
a
Well,
TC at
I
the
shouldn't
very
say
least.
that.
Yeah.
I did have one admin. Mm-hmm. So I used to have people come to my house and do work at my house.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they didn't want to come back. Like, oh no, the envelope, you got to make sure it's written like this. This is coming from me. I have all these little things. And this one lady came, and she was laid off from her job at the airlines. Mm-hmm. And I worked for the airlines for quite a while. But anyway, I asked her if she wanted to come help me. Mm-hmm. So I put her in the basement. I gave her something to do, and I took off and did listings and forgot about her. At 5 o'clock, my son calls me, and he goes, because he was home from the military, and he goes, Mom, this lady's still down in the basement. What's she? I go, oh my gosh. So I go, oh, tell her I'm going to be there in a little bit. So and her name was Jane Leland. She was amazing, because her first day at my office, I gave her a book, said, read that. That's what you got to do for me. I'm gone. And I left.
You're kidding.
But she did everything. She did a newsletter for me that was amazing. But I unfortunately couldn't stay with me. She would have got sick of me anyway. But I'm sure my transaction coordinator, who is my cousin, has put up with me so much. She thinks I know she knows I'm crazy.
Oh, so who would you like to honor or give thanks to?
That's a hard one.
So
Here's what I
because
wanted
you're
to say.
thinking
Here's what I
so
wanted to
many.
say. This is the first thing I thought of was I wanted to honor my ex-husband. Only because he made me the strong woman I am. Mm-hmm. Maybe not in the right ways. I learned a lot. I raised my kids on my own, and my kids are colorful. Can you imagine that?
I can imagine.
And and then I have 12 grandchildren. There's 9 grandchildren and 3 great. Mm-hmm. And so there's so many people I'd have to honor, like my counselor. Oh my gosh,
That's
she was
solid.
amazing.
Yep.
She made me do weird things though. And it was weird because I remember the first day she says, I want you to every morning go in front of your mirror and say something nice about yourself. And I thought, what the hell? So the next morning I'm getting ready for work and I'm looking in this mirror and I'm just like, whatever. And
Was that really hard in the beginning? But now,
well, I just said whatever, walked out the door.
Oh,
And then I sat in my car and then I went back in and said, because I said to myself, I'm paying this counselor to tell me what to do and I'm not even listening.
Yep.
So, and that's the norm for me. I pay coaches. My work coach ended up being my life coach for a couple of years. David Parker with Tom Ferry. He's amazing.
Yep.
He helped me through my divorce, my second divorce. And
so you were in your car and you're like, no,
yeah, so I ran back in.
Yep.
I looked in the mirror and I'm just like, what do I say? What do I say? And I just said, okay, you got a nice smile. And I ran out. Power in doing that every day was a game changer.
Did you have to say something
Like
different?
she actually had me go get a teddy bear, okay, and told me to treat that teddy bear the way I wanted to be treated. And so I remember buying the teddy bear, and I kept thinking, this is so stupid, the shit she's telling me to do. But I figured I'm paying her, I'm doing it. So anyway, I went and got this teddy bear. And I remember sitting in my room, where do I want the teddy bear to sit? And then I thought, the highest point there is. Because that's where I want to be in the end of all this. So I put the teddy bear on my tallest dresser. And I actually had conversations with that stupid teddy bear. And I remember my granddaughter, Valencia, she's my oldest granddaughter. And I remember she asked me for that teddy bear one time. And I said, sure. So I gave it to her. And then she was flying back to Florida. And before she got left, I said, I need my teddy bear still. I wasn't ready to give it up. And I was like, what the? I don't know. Kind of weird, but
well, it
I
works.
still have it.
Yeah.
I do have some advice for new agents, though.
Oh, let's hear it.
First of all, because when I started, I didn't really have help, but I didn't ask for help. I pretty much just went into Woodbury's resource room, and I was out in Plymouth. And so Amy Paget and Mary Pagel, they were my lifesavers. I mean, they answered any question for me, and I would like hang out waiting for them sometimes and stuff, and they always gave me good, solid advice. And so that was amazing. And the new agents need to know there is somebody that will always help you. If you're with RE/MAX, I will guarantee you, we share. A lot of people don't like to share. There are agents at RE/MAX that don't share, but majority, I think,
There's more that do. Yeah.
There's more that do. Absolutely. And, if you're not getting the answers, really call Brenda no, that's your payback.
I love it.
But I'm telling you, it's actually kind of true too. I mean, if you don't think you're getting the answer that you need or you're not getting a response, I've never been afraid to go to anybody. So that's why Brenda's got stuck with me a lot.
Oh.
But really, there's so many things. Like, I know when I came in, I was up against somebody that was in a magazine. And anyway, I had known that you pay to be on the magazine. And so I actually told my clients, do you want me to go pay to be on that magazine? And then will you hire me? And so anyway, they did go with me in the end. And that, but so I mean, I get it. I get why people do it, but that's not me. It never will be me. I don't even ask for reviews. I mean, because they say, you should at least have 100 reviews on. It's probably gone up now since then, but 100 reviews on Zillow. And at Tom Ferry event, I had one of my girlfriends say, hey, I'm going to challenge you. She lives in Florida. I'm going to challenge you to see who gets to 50 first. So I went and bought a bunch of wine bottles and went to my clients and just said, I'm here to wine for a Zillow review. And I beat her. But so
Perfect.
There's always things you can do. And I think of stupid things to do, but they work. My stupid works for me. But the newbies, that are there, they say that in the first 5 years, you might be gone. No, if you want it, you'll have it.
Find those resources. They're there.
Yeah. And you can always call. I mean, people call me it's funny. I mean, I'll always answer. I feel bad if I don't get back to them right away and stuff, but I will always give a suggestion. Might not be the right one, but I won't give anything legal advice, but I can help. I can give you ideas and I'm not the only one that would give you ideas on how to get your business running and stuff.
Yeah.
I love that. I actually have mentored people and did daily things where I'm texting them positive energy stuff. I make them give me their goals, and I will check where they're at with their goals. And I love doing that. I do. I just love seeing how excited they get, and I'll yell at them too. I'm not afraid to yell.
I know.
I'm sure everybody in Woodbury's heard me yell. So,
well, this has been great. Thank you so much. This is so fun. Yeah, I appreciate you, and thank you for coming on the show, Monica.
You're welcome.